As an artist, what would you tell someone that's coming into the business to be prepared for, what to look out for?
I think the biggest thing to tell that I would like to tell people that want to be in the industry is just make sure you know who you are before you come in the industry.
Yes, yes.
Many artists on American Idol have came and went. But people such as Clay Aiken, Fantasia, and Ruben Studdard made a name for themselves in the industry. Ruben Studdard was born in Frankfurt, West Germany, but then moved to Birmingham, Alabama. He started singing at the age of 3 at Rising Star Baptist Church. By the time he got to high school, he received a scholarship to play for Alabama A&M University. While there, he joined the men's music fraternity of America called Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia. This was a chapter of the Omicron Deltas. With his ties to the fraternity, it made it much easier for him to become a superstar. He began to pursue a career in the music industry and joined a group called Just a Few Cats, a popular Birmingham jazz and R&B band. This group was founded by Ray Reach Jr., who was eventually convicted on child pornography charges in Alabama. It was said that Ray Reach will hold classes for children in the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame and was still under investigation. A backup singer from the group Just a Few Cats asked Ruben Studdard to accompany her in the Nashville, Tennessee edition of the 2003 season of American Idol. Ruben Studdard went on to perform A Ribbon in the Sky and blew the judges away. During the televised competition, they named him the Velvet Teddy Bear. Ruben Studdard would go on to record his debut album Soulful, which topped 1 million sales before it was even released. With his song Sorry for 2004 and Flying Without Wings, Ruben Studdard was on his way to be successful. Some people were saying that this was a secular album, which is why it did so many numbers. But on his sophomore gospel album, I Need an Angel, it actually flopped. Selling 96,000 copies in the first week, the album charted number 20 on Billboard's 200. This is when the problems ensued. Ruben Studdard filed a lawsuit against his godfather, Ronald Edwards, who was accused of stealing over $150,000 from Ruben Studdard's account. Ruben Studdard decided that the music business wasn't paying any money, so he jumped into Hollywood, performing in Scooby-Doo 2. On his third album, The Return, he had producers like Scott Storch and Neo to help him co-write the songs, but the album still flopped.
What advice, could you give somebody, an aspiring artist who is trying to get into the industry, do everything you've been doing, but also keep their core values and faith still solid, and just kind of help them to understand what that looks like? What would you say to somebody trying to get into the R&B game or just the music industry, period?
I would just say pray and ask God to surround you with people that have the same kind of core values that you have. And that's one thing that I'm extremely thankful for. And I say that because that was my prayer when I made it to Hollywood. I said, Lord, just introduce me to people that grew up like I did. It was kind of blanket, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, Lord, you gotta introduce me to saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost, deified. I didn't get into all that. I said, Lord, just introduce me to people that grew up like I did. And the first week I was there in the top 20. Now, mind you, my gospel group that I was in college, we'd opened for Dawkins and Dawkins several times. Like, we'd been on the same bill with them, had conversations, talked to them, but never had like a friendship. And the first person I saw on Sunset walking down the street to Melrose Mac was Eric Dawkins when I got to LA. And it was like a breath of fresh air, like God actually heard me. And, and from then on, like, my whole circle of friends was everybody that I listened to. Like, for like a week later, I was at Mama Campbell's house. I was in the, eating tacos with Tina and Erica. And, that's Mary. People don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I was, and then after that, like, everybody in that circle, like from Flex and Shanice to, Tina, Erica, to Warren, Eric, all that was my friend circle in LA. So, I mean, Nissan, Jubu, like, all those guys are who I really hung out with when I was living in California. So, I mean, like, he really honored that prayer for me, and he kind of made that my friend circle while I was there. And everywhere I went, like, even, working with Dre and Vidal, like, like we all are church kids. And it's so funny, like, you know, when you look at the music industry, for the most part, all of the biggest producers are all kids that play instruments in church. Like they grew up, like half of them are like, you know, daddies are pastors, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, I just did a thing for one of my really great friends, Kamen Kelly. His dad, you know, anybody knows anything about radio, you've heard his voice everywhere.
Absolutely.
And I mean, like our first conversations about our experiences in church. So I mean, like, you know, I would just say, like, people, you know, everybody, no matter where you go, you'll be able to find people that have the same common core values that you have, and that's not to say that, you know, we people don't stray. We don't have, you know, times where we feel like we know, but we're, you know, maybe a bit off kilter. But it's definitely good to have a good core group of people around that you can depend on in this industry.
In 2007, Ruben Studdard was dropped from the record label J Records due to poor record sales. After the decline of his music career, Ruben Studdard decided to go on TV's The Biggest Loser. In 2018, Ruben Studdard lost his brother, Kevin Studdard, at the age of 44. After his brother passed, Ruben got a new career boost, performing with Clay Aiken again.
This has come together. Tell us how it did come together.
Ruben?
Clayton.
Yes, that's me. You know, I stopped singing for a while, kind of took a hiatus and wasn't really interested in coming back. To be honest, I wasn't ready to sing yet. I had done enough for a while, but I saw Ruben do his Luther Vandross tribute concert back in April, and I left that show that night, and he just really put on this incredible show. And I left that show that night, and I told my manager, listen, I'm okay. If Ruben will do something with me, I'll do something. Let's do something together, because we've always just gotten along so well, and I feel like the Christmas spirit is effusive from both of us, don't you think?
I'm glad that my performance could inspire you to come back to the stage.
Don't get too cocky.
The stage has missed you, Clay.
Oh, thank you. Don't get too cocky. But it did work. It did work. And so, you know, we've stayed in touch, and we've always loved working together and hanging around with each other. And so it kind of came together pretty quickly after that.
Is this the first time that you've shared stage and performed together since 2003? Is that true?
I dragged him along with me about
Kicking and screaming.
About 3-4 years ago.
Man, math is tough. About 8 years ago.
About 8 years ago, you know, he begged to travel with me around the country doing a show, you know, of hits from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and you know, my fans, you know.
Once again, he carried me across the country through a tour. We did a show together in 2010, and then we kind of reunited for just a quick minute on TV back in 2016, I believe, for Christmas, and that sort of got us thinking about Christmas a little bit too, just for one performance for a TV show on daytime. But we haven't had a chance to do anything on this scale since I'd say
Idol. Yeah, he probably had.
This is a side note, but did you know that the executive of American Idol was just murdered the other day? Her and her husband were found unalived in their big mansion in LA. I don't know, do you think that Ruben Studdard sold his soul for fame and fortune? Or is this American Idol thing just one big curse? Leave your comments below.